All right, so move on to the next segment. I'll be sharing my 2024 NFL redraft. So this segment is for if there was an NFL redraft that were to take place from the respective prospects that came out of the draft in this past spring in the 2024 draft class. I'll be redrafting, shuffling picks around from the top five, all five teams still having the same selections, but players being reshuffled and redrafted in a 2024 NFL redraft. So I'll be giving you guys 1 through 5, and I'll be going into a deeper dive in the reasons why I do believe they would be picked at those selections if there was a redraft. So 1, I would have Jaden Daniels being drafted first overall to the Chicago Bears. I would have 2, Caleb Williams being drafted second overall this time around to the Washington Commanders. Those 2 flipping picks. At 3, I would have Bo Nix being drafted by the New England Patriots at 3 instead of Drake May. 4, I would have Quinyon Mitchell, cornerback, that plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, one of the best cornerbacks from play alone this NFL season. I would have him taking Marvin Harrison Jr.'s spot at 4 with the Cardinals. And 5, I would have Brock Bowers being drafted 5th overall by the Los Angeles Chargers instead of Joe Alt. But a deeper dive of the reasons why I do believe that there would be a massive reshuffle in the redraft if it happened. 1 would be Jaden Daniels for the Chicago Bears. Now, this should have been the pick all along. Jaden Daniels should have been the first overall pick in the 2024 draft over Caleb Williams. From what I saw, his Heisman year last year at LSU, I just believed that he was going to be the better player, overall player of Caleb Williams. I still stand on that today, that he will go down as the better quarterback from this 2024 NFL draft class when it's all said and done. And Jaden Daniels, just rookie season alone, he's looked more polished, more clutch in clutch situations over Caleb Williams. I mean, look at that Hail Mary that he converted against the Chicago Bears weeks ago. Look at the performance that he just had against the Philadelphia Eagles, having 5 touchdowns with a game-winning drive against one of the best teams in the NFC. I mean, he's a leader. Jaden Daniels is a leader. He's everything you want to build a franchise around. Hell, he's changed the culture around for the Washington Commanders, a Commanders team that is out to a 10-5 start, which is actually their best start since the early 90s, which is really sad to say for Commanders fans. But as I digress, Jaden Daniels is just a spectacular player. He's going to win Rookie of the Year. This is a guy that you want to build a franchise around. And realistically, I know the Chicago Bears are going through everything. They're going through a lot. But can you imagine if he's doing this? If Jaden Daniels is doing this with the limited pass catchers that the Commanders have, Terry McLaurin is obviously a true number 1 wide receiver. But when you take him out of the picture, what pass catcher stands out to you the most in that Washington Commanders offense? A veteran version of Zach Ertz. He's not the same player that he used to be with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Arizona Cardinals in his heydays. He's doing this with less talent around him compared to Caleb Williams, who has more talent but in a worse situation. You put Jaden Daniels with the Chicago Bears, I think they're a playoff team, point blank, period. And some jobs are saved out there in Chicago. But even the fact that players, when was the last time you saw players wanting to be traded to the Commanders or flocking to want to go there for free agency? Because they're going to bring in a lot of players for free agency. This is a situation where Chicago Bears, they whiffed on it. And even though Caleb Williams could still turn out to be a good player, Jaden Daniels was always the right selection at number 1. Now, in the redraft, I would have Caleb Williams going 2nd overall to the Washington Commanders. Now, Caleb Williams, in a talent standpoint, I still believe he's the 2nd best quarterback in this draft class from Jaden Daniels. I'm not going to forget about all the special plays that he had at USC. But he's just disappointed me in his rookie season because these college analysts always analyze players as a generational talent, which you shouldn't be saying that if you don't look like Andrew Luck coming out of college. If you don't look like Peyton Manning coming out of college. They just throw the generational talent slang around too much, and when they don't produce well, then the media has something to say about them. But what I've seen in games and on film of Caleb Williams this year, he's made a lot of mistakes, holding the ball in the pocket too long at certain times, not being alert in game situations. Yeah, even though Matt Eberflus should have called a timeout Thanksgiving against the Detroit Lions, as a player that sees the clock steadily going down with you being on the field, with you having all the control and having control of the other 10 men in the offense, Why didn't Caleb Williams himself call a timeout Thanksgiving against the Detroit Lions? Even though that comes to the head coach, Matt Eberflus, overall, Caleb Williams still is a fault as well because you're the leader in the huddle. You see the clock going down. You could have called a timeout. But game situations, I see he's not good at it. And yeah, everything is not his fault for the Chicago Bears' disappointing season. But keep in mind, they did start the season 4-2. They started 4-2, and they have not won a game since. And you cannot, this is my thing about Caleb Williams also, you cannot be cocky thinking your game is going to translate from college over to the NFL so easily when you send out a text to your punter saying you will not punt the ball that much this NFL season. Well, I think the punter for Chicago has actually punted the ball more times than Caleb Williams has thrown passing touchdowns this year. So, in a redraft, I think it would have been best for Caleb Williams to go to the Commanders. Not only is he from Maryland, he would have that home support. Cliff Kingsbury, the offense coordinator for the Washington Commanders, they have some history together at USC where he was on the coaching staff and helping groom Caleb Williams in college as well. I think that connection with them already understanding what they like to do, what they don't like to do, what they like to run, what they don't like to run offensively, that just would have benefited Caleb Williams with a redraft with him going to the Commanders. Now, Bo Nix at 3 to the Patriots, this would have been really good for the redraft, but I understand the Patriots going in the direction of Drake May. Drake May had a mix of everything, passing the ball, running the ball, and he didn't really have that many question marks. Bo Nix, you didn't know if his game was going to translate over well to the NFL based off the offensive scheme that he was running in his final days at college with Oregon. He looked a little similar play style-wise of what Justin Herbert looked like, but we didn't know what he was really going to look like at the NFL level. So I think that's why he was one of the actually amongst his peers, he was the final quarterback taken in the first round, which is bizarre to say. But don't get me wrong, Drake May has been solid with the Patriots, but based off of everything that we saw in Bo Nix's rookie season, with really not much to work with pass catching wise out there in Denver other than Cortland Sutton, this would have been everything that the Patriots would have been looking for. Because if it wasn't for Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, in my opinion, could possibly win Offensive Player of the Year or Offensive Rookie of the Year. Bo Nix has a strong arm. He's a mobile quarterback that has translated over. His game has translated over well from college to the NFL. He's a quarterback that had 60-plus starts in college, who was there a long time playing in college. Leadership, from a leadership standpoint, how calm and mature he is already, I think this would have been the perfect pick for the Patriots at 3 if there was a redraft. So definitely would have been the perfect pick. For Quinyon Mitchell to the Cardinals makes a lot of sense. Now, to be honest with you guys, Jonathan Gannon would have loved this pick as a defensive-minded coach. And it would have been best for him because Quinyon Mitchell has been one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL this year and would have been the best cornerback that this Arizona Cardinals team has seen since Patrick Peterson was there. It's been a long time since Arizona has some good DBs other than Baker out there, but in terms of a cornerback, they haven't seen anybody as good since Patrick Peterson was there. And Quinyon Mitchell has been a lockdown defender in his rookie season with the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, in the times that he's gotten the chance to guard these star wide receivers, I'm talking some big-time number 1 wide receivers around the league like Drake London, Chris Olave, Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, Malik Neighbors, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Terry McLaurin, Zay Flowers. I wish I was making this stat up as a Cowboys fan, but in coverage, when he had the chance, these players don't even get to 50 yards receiving when he's in coverage with them. And he locked down, the first time the Eagles and Commanders played, he locked down Terry McLaurin to the point where he didn't have one catch for 1 yard. Terry McLaurin, who is a dangerous route runner, that's what Quinyon Mitchell brings to the table on the defensive side of the ball. So the connect, and I think it would have made sense for him to go 4, based off of the connection of Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr., their connection has not been solid, has not been steady, and is actually disappointed in the rookie season of Marvin Harrison Jr. Because Kyler Murray has been gifted with a star wide receiver, a future star wide receiver in Marvin Harrison Jr., to the point where he should always be Kyler Murray's first read option when he's looking to throw the ball. And they don't have much. I mean, they got that tight end. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. They got that good tight end out there. But I don't give a damn. Marvin Harrison Jr. should be his first read option and has not been all year long. And the reason why they've been inconsistent at times on the offense side of the ball, So I think Quinyon Mitchell would have been perfect for in a redraft. And last but not least, Brock Bowers going 5th overall to the Chargers in a redraft would have made a lot of sense. Now, even though Joe Alt has been a good offensive lineman for the Chargers thus far as a rookie, Brock Bowers is already a gem at the tight end position and easily would have been top 5 and easily would have been the pick that Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman would have liked for their offense out there in LA with the Chargers. Now, no matter the quarterback, Brock Bowers has been balling with the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm talking about he's played with some quarterbacks like Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, Desmond Ridder, and with all due respect, these quarterbacks are not that great. But Brock Bowers has overcame that, playing with 3 different quarterbacks at the tight end position as a rookie, has already had 1,000 yards receiving, and already is a top 5 tight end in the league. I'll put him in the conversation with the best tight ends already in the league, with Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, and George Kittle. That's how special Brock Bowers already is, and how special he will be in his NFL career. So he definitely would have benefited playing in an offense with Justin Herbert and his former Georgia mate and Ladd McConkey out there, with their time that they spent with the Georgia Bulldogs in college. So definitely, I think if it was a redraft, I think all 5 of these picks definitely would have happened. 1 through 5. Again, Jaden Daniels 1, Caleb Williams 2, Bo Nix 3, 4, Quinyon Mitchell, 5, Brock Bowers. But that would be my 2024 NFL redraft.